Making the peace settlement was difficult because of the nature of the problems to be solved and the different viewpoints and aims of those taking part. The decision-makers had to take account of public opinion in their own country because they were democratically elected leaders and could not ignore the power of the press. The question arises how far the victors got what they wanted. Wilson was clever enough to get some of his demands met by refusing the cancellation request of debts from the Allies owed to USA. His ideas of formation of League of Nations was immediately approved and formed, but the kind of league he was expecting was not going to work. His idea of self-determination did not work in case of France and Britain, who did not want to withdraw from their colonies and could not forego their imperialist policies. France and Britain both wanted control over German and Turkish colonies, whereas Wilson wanted them to be controlled by the League. Therefore, a compromise was reached. Colonies were divided among victors but were to be looked on behalf of the League and came to be known as mandates. Clemenceau had demanded a strong Poland to weaken Germany. This demand was somehow met. The new Poland comprised of a part of Germany, a part of Russia, a part of Austria, Hungary, West Prussia, Posen and Upper Silesia of Germany. A corridor of Polish territory was created which gave Poland access to the sea. Here Wilson's 13th point was met. All the big three had wanted the return of Alsace-Lorraine to France. Clemenceau wanted Danzig from Germany to be given to Poland. Lloyd George disagreed. Therefore, Danzig was thrown into a free city as a compromise, controlled by the League of Nations. Clemenceau wanted Saarland, which was coal-rich industrial area. Neither Wilson nor Lloyd George accepted it. Therefore, a compromise was reached. It was decided that Saarland to be run by the League for 15 years. Meanwhile, France could have control over its coal mines. Clemenceau wanted Rhineland to be permanently divided from Germany to become a buffer state between France and Germany. However, this demand was not met. It was decided that Rhineland would be made a demilitarized zone, occupied by Allied troops for 15 years. Clemenceau was quite successful in getting a limit on armed forces in Germany. However, concept of general disarmament as proposed by Wilson was not met. Only defeated nations were disarmed. France wanted huge reparation of $200 billion. Wilson and Lloyd George disagreed. Lloyd George wanted $120 billion, whereas Wilson said that the right figure would be $22 billion. In the end, a compromise reached to £6,600 million. Some of Wilson's demands were not met, like greater independence for colonies, general disarmament, free trade, and free movement of ships anywhere in the war. Wilson was not happy with the terms, but along with Lloyd George, he was of the view that the League of Nations would be able to sort out the problems later. He had too much faith in the League of Nations. One may think, why the victors did not get everything they want? There are obviously certain factors associated with it. All victors had their own selfish end to serve. Britain did not agree to free navigation of the sea, as a navy was the key to protect British Empire. Therefore, there was a clash of interest. Free navigation could pose a threat to the empire's existence. Then there was disagreement among the big three on self-determination. Britain and France did not want self-determination to be applied in their own empires. Therefore, this demand was partially met. Wilson's dream of New World Order with US leading League of Nations did not achieve. USA could not become a member of League of Nations, as the Congress in USA disapproved USA to become a member. France did not ensure its safety in the settlement, though art disarmament took place in Germany, but being its neighbor, France was mostly at constant threat. Reparation amount was not set according to French demand. A compromise was reached because all did not agree to crush Germany to such an extent. Further, Britain had trade interests, and Wilson had fear of communist revolution in a weaker Germany. Britain and France felt that USA did not understand the problems in Europe, therefore rejected most of his 14 points. Also, Wilson's suggestions and ideals were not approved by US Senate itself. as it did not want involvement in European affairs. The fear of communist revolution in Germany did not lead Britain to be harsh on Germany. Wilson feared Germans' revenge once they regained strength. It is often said that the Treaty of Versailles was a poor peace, that it angered the Germans and none of the victors were completely happy with it. But if you are thinking sensibly about it, what else do you expect? The negotiations were always going to have to be a compromise. That is what negotiations are.